This is the Hongqiao train station in Shanghai, one of the busiest in China. Usually in a packed place like this, or at a concert or other crowded venue, people worry about weak signals. But that concern will be a thing of the past when this station is covered by 5G in the future. The new network allows for up to 1 million mobile connections within just one single square kilometer. Also, it's fast. It is really fast. And for those who are curious, here's a trending video of just how fast 5G could be on your phone. This video gained over 6 million views in 2 days in China. And suddenly, the future feels not so far away anymore. Imagine driverless cars, efficient robots, remote precise surgeries, and countless other applications enabled by the fast speed and low latency. By 2025, half of the US and a quarter of China's mobile connections will be made through 5G. It is the next big thing. And this is where it gets complicated. We need to talk about the H word, Huawei. Apart from making smartphones, the company also makes telecommunications equipment. It hosts the most 5G patents and claims to be ahead of its competitors by as much as 18 months. Millions of people around the globe have learned how to pronounce this curiously spelled Chinese brand in recent weeks.
Huawei.
Huawei. It's actually pronounced Huawei.
But unfortunately, many got to know about it from news clips like this.
I hope all of you up in the gallery are not using a Huawei or a ZTE product. If you are, you might want to go out and buy a different one. These companies are dangerous to our national security and to your privacy.
That sounds severe. And the US has banned its companies from doing business with Huawei, claiming it might install backdoors in their products for espionage. Now that would be understandable if there was solid evidence. The American government still has yet to publish any credible proof to back it up. Yet, every allegation sounded more real than the last one.
They are used for espionage. They are part of the supply chain, whether it's routers or anything else. They embed stuff in there that could be used to spy against us, not just for national security. That's how they steal corporate secrets.
Now, actually, this rhetoric is hardly new. With that amount of distrust from Western countries, Huawei had offered the source codes of their products for thorough inspections by government agencies from countries such as Great Britain, Germany, and Canada since 2012. And to this day, there has been no evidence of any backdoor used for espionage.
We're about to go live from...
On May the 30th, British mobile carrier EE launched the first commercial 5G network in Great Britain using Huawei equipment.
That is what is going to enable us to do the first live broadcast over 5G.
European countries have refused to ban Huawei despite heavy pressure from Washington to do so. Why? Because no country wants to lose out on the global 5G race. The cost of building this new network is much higher than 4G because 5G requires 100 times more radio transmitters. It only makes sense to choose a company that experts say offers 5G solutions with the best price point in the market. Many European countries like Britain and the Netherlands say that while they will not use Huawei for their 5G network cores, they will still use their transmitters. And what Huawei needs to do is to work closely with suppliers and regulators. And that's not happening with America, at least for now.
We need to take these measures to develop and use uniform cybersecurity standards. Use these mechanisms to assess risk objectively and based on evidence so that we can have conformance programs so we can prove which products are worthy of trust. That's how we address the risk. That's how we are all safer in cyberspace. In the United States, the kinds of individuals in government who would normally talk with us are not really open to talking with us to help address real cybersecurity issues.
Experts say that leaves Huawei between a rock and a hard place. It is suspect but not able to prove its innocence. And that has reinforced the idea that the US is persecuting Huawei not just because of security issues, but as a way to maintain its supremacy in technology. In fact, similar cases have happened before. Consider Alstom, the French industrial conglomerate. The US Justice Department in 2010 used an extraterritorial law to investigate the company for alleged corruption. Alstom's energy business was later acquired by America's GE, despite competing bids from Germany and Japan. Some analysts suspected that the investigation might have influenced the acquisition. Former Alstom executive Frederick Perucci, who was arrested by the US in 2013 and sent to jail, later called the episode politically sensitive deal-making. and underground economic warfare.
Europe needs to react, China needs to react, otherwise we're going to live in a world basically where the United States decide who should trade with whom.
Now, with the Huawei ban continuing, collateral damage is beginning to surface. The company's equipment has been used in the US for years. Huawei supplies technology to about 40 small carriers across rural America. Replacing that could cost hundreds of millions of dollars, and farmers are facing the danger of losing their mobile service, which they rely on every day to monitor their environment.
Nobody in their right mind would shut down a network and shut down public safety. Sometimes I equate it to like flying in a jet with 2 engines, and you want to replace one of the engines while you're at 30,000 feet. Probably not a real good idea.
The US government has offered a poll of $700 million to mitigate the situation, but some experts say that's not nearly enough. That's not to mention that Huawei has been a big buyer of American products. The company spent $70 billion to purchase parts in 2018, and $11 billion of that came from the US.
So much of the U.S. tech industry is intertwined with the companies in China. So as much as this may seem like it's about U.S. tech supremacy, these policies from the U.S. perspective are really misguided. This is not like steel in terms of being able to shut out one supplier.
Analysts say the cost will likely be passed down to ordinary consumers. Yet, there's a much deeper long-term risk at play here. Experts say that the US government's intervention in the telecom sector sets a dangerous precedent in America, and that could be a warning call for other companies around the world.
By interfering in a peacetime world in the private, profitable interactions between Huawei and American companies, every major company in the world now associates a new risk with doing business with American companies.
Of course, companies including Huawei could eventually reduce their interdependence with American firms, but that is not at all ideal in a globalized market. So, if the current American administration's mentality is Huawei, no way, the people are losing out on more than just a smartphone.